Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where, after the collision, we sift through
that wreckage.
Only for 1 week. Remote.
Why'd you remind me? I forgot all about that. Oh, man, that's shocking. Anyway, I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, the vet, Jamie Williams, and he's our other co-host. He's the magnanimous, the glorious Chabelo Vera Cruz, the professor that is. Boys, what's going on? We had Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, of course. I mean, we were doing the watch along. Did it look empty? Or because I saw people online, for example, were actually saying that, you know, those LED sort of things that they had that look like toilet paper on the seats or whatever it was. They claimed there was people there, but those things made it look like there wasn't people there. But I'm pretty confused. I could have sworn I didn't see any heads.
There was more people than it looked like there was at times. That is what I mean. When those things light up, they lit up this weird yellow color, and that's all you'd be able to see when those things are lit up. And when they weren't lit up, they were white, like you said. That's why you made the toilet paper remark,
right?
But it's hard to see the people. The only people you could really see is like the guys that had like the full getup on. The people that were in normal street clothes or whatever, they were kind of obscured in there. So it was difficult to tell how many people were actually in the stadium from my vantage point. Now, there was definitely not a capacity. It was not a capacity crowd. But it looked smaller than it did at certain angles. But then they would shoot it from a different angle, and you'd see, oh yes, there are people in those same seats that looked empty a second ago. So I think it was like an optical illusion. But certainly, it was unnecessary to build a stadium that you couldn't fill. You should have just used the ones that you've been using, I think.
I agree. Prof, how did it look for you, actually, while watching it?
You know, looking at it objectively.
Yeah.
Let's look at it from a layman's standpoint here. If it's free, whatever. I don't know how much the cost of Royal Rumble tickets was for Saudi Arabia. But again, WWE already got paid from the Saudi government, so neither here nor there. But they built a stadium within a month, guys, and they put LED lights. I just want to sit and enjoy a show. Maybe stand up and cheer for my favorite wrestlers, boo for my wrestlers and all that stuff. But I got an LED light in my eye. I don't want to get blinded. I don't want to get cancer. So what am I going to do? I'm going to move. I got to take a rest, man. I can't sit in front of these LED lights that's going to blind my eyes, give me cataracts or some shit like that. Come on. It's sensible stuff. You ruined my watch. I'd rather have sat at home on my pay-per-view because I saw those LED lights. I'm getting hypnotic with those lights. If I smoked weed, it would have been really a good show. But again, neither you know that. I'm just saying.
It's nice. It's perfect. Well, yeah, it was weird. No doubt about it. Yeah. Look, if you want to get our take on the Royal Rumble, go and watch the watch along if you haven't already. Where myself and the vet were on there with Brandon, but we'll also be reviewing it Monday afternoon, so look out for that. Anyway, fellas, should we get into some news, shall we? Which I'm going to debut the clean sheets as of right now, but I just want to put it out there. This is not the final product, but I've just done a little quick rush job. But here it is, because we will be getting into the clean sheets, ladies and gents. Just bear with me 1 second while we do that. Prof, do you like that, by the way, for the time being?
I love it. I just need some sound bites with like a washing machine or a dishwasher, something that is just, or some soapy suds or something like that, just to make sure that we give you the clean stuff.
Yeah, that's just some dirty. That's just some dirty like motel. Fucking AI slop right there.
It is. Like, Dee's the one that does this shit properly, yeah? She was sleepy, so I couldn't get her to do it. But by next week, we'll have it properly. That is AI slop, but it did all right. At least it spells shit properly. And by the way, do you hear that in the background?
Yeah, I hear it.
That is the collision theme I was talking about, Vet.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it?
Turn down a bit.
All right, doesn't matter. But the point is, I feel like they're copying our stuff, boys. They're copying us. I'm telling you, they really are.
You mean Don Stevens and Tony Khan's burner account don't listen to the Wreckage? Come on, let's get real.
I'm telling you, man. Is it a coincidence that our themes are kind of similar? But anyway, I digress. Well, let's get into some news. We saw the debut of Powerhouse Keys. Or is it Hobbs? Or is it Royce Keys?
Wait, Jimmy, can I make a suggestion before you do this news?
What's that?
All I just request, just for vet's sake, because I'm thinking about the vet for this, you must present every news item is, I don't know if this is clean enough for the vet.
Oh,
it's a little dirty. This way, vet's warned. Vet is warned about it. This way, when vet is like invested, he'll be like, okay, let's talk about it. When it's dirty, he'd be like, well, I don't know. I don't care. Let's move on.
No, I got a better idea. I like this. Actually,
I'll leave. Damn it, I'll leave.
Anyway, let's not go there. But what I was gonna say is, if it's not good enough, you say it's dirty. Fuck it. Oh. If it's good, it's clean. We talk about it. So I think that's actually a great idea. But anyway, I will get into Powerhouse Keys or Hobbs or whatever his name is. I gotta admit, I went viral just for posting Powerhouse Hobbs on Twitter. Everybody, I had the most likes out of anybody that posted about him. So thank you, Elon. But what do you think of his debut, actually? We didn't really talk about it, even on the watch along per se, Vet. But did you think his debut was good, or did you think he got eliminated a bit too quick?
It was fine. I mean, they I'm sure they already knew that this was supposed to look. Obafemi was there. We already had planned what we were going to do, like how we were going to structure this, the story we were going to tell about Obafemi. Then this sort of fell into our lap, so we shoehorned it in. Yep. You know, can't have two big black guys dominating everything.
No,
so
well, that's right.
we did our best, you know, like just to get him in there. So it is fine. But even if Obafemi wasn't there, this is just there like, yeah, you're going to get a little bit of a shine at the, you know, with your making a hullabaloo out of your entrance and using your old name and breaking it down. And, you know, that was the only walls that got broken down that night, by the way.
Right.
So, you know, like you got that little bit of shine, you get in there for a few minutes, you get eliminated. Of course you weren't going to win. This would have been standard at any point. Had he jumped ship at any point, this would have been the Royal Rumble he would have had if he's going to debut. So it was fine. I don't really think that they could have done anything much better, or should they have?
Right.
Because they had their own stuff they got to worry about, and this guy is just a bonus. You know, he's getting a nice free meal here.
Does he go to NXT or does he stay on the main roster, you think?
God damn, if you debut in the Rumble, it's kind of hard not to want to just move him right on. If he goes to NXT, then there's nobody there that should beat him right now.
Right.
They don't have anybody, so you kind of it's actually kind of like a dilemma.
It is.
You know?
Definitely.
Because you're not going to push him if you put him on Raw or SmackDown. You're just not. You could do the whole, like Stevie Richards says on every single show he does, give him locals, you know, so I could parrot Stevie Richards and say, give him locals. But then again, it's like, we give you locals, but we already saw you go toe to toe with, you know, the other guys in the Rumble. So it's like, obviously it's kind of a tricky situation that they find themselves in. And that's kind of one of the things I was alluding to whenever people are asking me about, you know, what about Hobbs in WWE? And I said, it's kind of going to be a man without a country a little bit.
Interesting. Good take, actually. Prof, how do you feel about the whole Royce Keys situation? WWE, does he start in NXT? Does he go to the main roster? What do you do with him at this point?
Well, let me answer your first question about the debut part, because in my humble opinion, I think it was a wasted debut. I don't think he should have been at the Royal Rumble. I think for me, I'm looking at this from the country standpoint. I think it would have suited him better to debut on Tuesday, CW, NXT, the winner of the ladder match. You have the music playing. You just saw how he debuted at the Rumble, Powerhouse Hobbs, and then you take that name away, and then Royce Keys. You got your pop right there. You got your viral moment for NXT, which is, I think we talked about this. I said he's injected into the main event scene instantaneously in NXT, and it's already a number one contender for the NXT title. This was a wasted Royal Rumble moment because it was in Saudi Arabia. This wasn't in Chicago. This wasn't in New York. This wasn't in Florida, where maybe they could, the fans would understand who he is. I'm not saying that Saudi Arabia doesn't. There's no Mark Tars in Saudi Arabia, Jimmy. Don't get me wrong. But again, I think the country was just a bad place for Royce Keys to make his debut. That's all I would say.
I agree with that too. Actually, anything with
so
debuting anyone, yeah.
But the question to me was, how did they do the debut? So that's what I was answering. Of course, I don't think that would have been a great place to debut. And I also, what do you guys think about this? I think it's corny when they do the thing where they say the old name and then destroy it and put the new name. Because now you just, the people that didn't know, now you just educated them that this is not even who you are saying that they are now. Like they used to be somebody else. You're telling them that. They've done this forever. They did it with Kenta. Remember when Kenta came to NXT and they destroyed that name and then put up this bullshit Hideo Itami? Like, so this is clearly a Triple H thing that he must like.
I think they did that with Finn Balor too. I think you saw the Prince Devitt name and then they crossed it off and then it was Balor and all that.
Didn't they do it with Blake Monroe too? At first, when she debuted, she was still Mariah May, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but the point is they've done it for a lot longer than just recently. They've done it since way before AEW even existed.
Oh, so absolutely.
So, but I think it's corny. Do you guys think it's corny?
I do personally. If you're not going to use it, don't show it. You know what I mean? Because even I got fooled for that split second. Because we've been talking about Royce Keys. And then when we're watching the watch along, I was like, because I was a bit ahead, I was like, oh shit, Powerhouse Hobbs, like in my mind. And then a second later, it just broke up. And then Royce Keys. But for a minute, they had me.
Jimmy, I'll say this: if you wanted to debut Royce Keys the right way at the Royal Rumble, you would have had the new. I'm going to take your idea. You would have had the New Day just come out, and then Grayson Waller introduce Big Royce, and then Big Royce would have just came down, and then you would see the New Day. Everybody went, okay. Big H.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's still a possibility. Just let's give it a few months and see what happens. And if he doesn't succeed by their eyes, he's straight into the New Day. Mark my words.
Well, let me run this quick creative by you. Okay? Because this is like we have to deal with what the cards that we're given, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, and like just one last final point, like if you like you said, Jimmy, Powerhouse Hobbs, you're like, oh shit, Powerhouse Hobbs. So that's the first thing people see. And what if they like that name better?
Yeah,
you just buried yourself. Absolutely. But anyways, so NXT, now NXT is doing this gimmick with this guy, Keanu Carver, another bullshit name, but whatever. So he's an unhinged black guy, like a big unhinged black guy, right?
Right.
So he is like doing the whole like, loose cannon, like I'm not, you can't control me type. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to be out of control, whatever. So now if you bring Hobbs in, right? Now Hobbs can be in NXT, but instead of just forming a tag team with this guy or trying to act like this guy doesn't exist or you're not on the same planet, now you have an interesting thing of where a guy can come in as like a sort of a heelish baby face, maybe, where he can come in and say like, some people around here are grateful for opportunities, and then you can have like a feud like built in right there where you got these two similar guys, not similar, but like, of course, the optics, the simple-minded people are just going to go straight to that. But now you've got like a more intriguing way to like have something for both those guys to do. I'm probably guessing that they're just going to have them both go on their own trajectories, completely ignoring the other person, like they don't exist.
Right.
But, in reality, I think that's sort of like, to use the Vince Russo philosophy of like, well, if this were real, what would happen? Right. And then you wouldn't have these two guys not butt heads almost immediately. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
First of all, I don't understand how NXT has a name Keanu Carver based on the name of a cat from a movie with Key and Peele, number one.
Named after another guy that may be famous for a couple things.
Yeah, that thing. But again, I could go nostalgic too, Vet. I'd be like, you could put him in a suit. He could be Mr. Hughes or
no, bro,
Mr. Keys, be a security guard.
Mr. Keys.
Complete with narcolepsy.
Yeah.
You know what happens to his career? That happens to his career after that. I'm telling you.
Hey, Jimmy, respect Mr. Hughes' career. He made money in that suit, protecting people.
Shit. Right. I mean, yeah, and in ECW too, he had a run there as well. So shit. Absolutely. But still, man, come on. But I could see that. He would play that Mr. Hughes character perfectly. He just suits that sort of look. I could just see it. But I hope they don't do it. If anyone from WWE is listening, don't do it, please. But Mr. Keys, I see it, bro. 100%. But anyway, you can go all sorts of ways with this guy, man. You really can. But I don't want to put it out in the ether because I don't want it to happen. I actually do want him to succeed, though, boys. I'm sure you guys do too. But still, man, that's messed up. But let's move on to other news, though, shall we, fellas? Because apparently Triple H has been talking about AJ Styles and makes his comment about his retirement. He says this, and I quote, he says, you know, it's a funny thing that in this business, there are very few people that are universally loved, that are universally respected, right? That no matter the wars they've had with other people, no matter the battles they've had in the business, all of that is aside. Almost no one ever has a bad word to say about AJ Styles. It's a testament to the human being that he is. And when you look at his career, it's easy to say just in the decade that he's been here in WWE alone, how big of a career, how impactful of a career. But he's one of those guys, I feel like his influence on this business will be Shawn Michaels-esque. Wow. There'll be somebody 10 years from now that will be a lot of people 10 years from now that when you talk about it, what you got in this business, that will say AJ Styles. And when you say what influenced your career, AJ Styles. Who do you pattern yourself after? AJ Styles. He has that level of respect and sort of impact on the business. It's hard to measure. And just quietly, I just want to say he just said a whole bunch of the same thing in a whole paragraph, but whatever the case. But he also talks about potentially working as a coach. They've had conversations, but at this point, you know, I don't think he's into being a coach. He wants to be with his family and whatnot. And I'm just breaking it down quickly. But still, he also says about his retirement that it was AJ Styles that came up to him suggesting this. And it's not him that forced him to retire or wanted him to retire. It had nothing to do with him. This is all AJ. And you know what's even ironic? Ricochet now is talking about bringing AJ into AEW. I know there's a lot in the chat that think he's going to go somewhere else. And we've had this
one guy
talk.
does.
Well, yeah, honestly, he's not the only one, though. I've had a few others that also think this. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to say it again. He's cemented his legacy. Him going to any other promotion is just going to shit on it, in my opinion. And he's not going to do that. He's very loyal and true to his word, in my opinion. I don't know him personally, but he comes across that way. Vet, am I wrong?
Are you wrong that AJ wouldn't do it? I don't know. I just don't know why you would want to retire and then just get out of retirement.
Right.
If he didn't want to re-sign a contract or whatever, he could have just not re-signed a contract and left. Like, it's just that simple. Did Edge retire? I forgot.
He's gonna retire. He's been saying
I'm talking about from WWE.
Oh,
did he say I'm retired and then just go to AEW?
But they forced him to retire per se, if you know what I'm saying.
Well,
they did announce it. Wasn't it a retirement match on SmackDown, whatever it was, his last match, Prof?
It was his last.
It was, right?
It was a last match, but did he say I'm retiring from the business and then just showed up? That's what I was asking.
He said publicly on WWE TV that he was retired.
Okay, so there you go. I mean, you don't have to retire. If you don't want to quit wrestling, but you just want to leave WWE, just do what everybody else did. But like, to me, you know, and I can't speak for AJ, like, just like you, I can't speak for him, but I can just say that, like, there's no reason to just make yourself, you know, to put yourself under that scrutiny and just say, I'm going to retire just to unretire. Right. You could have just left, Or you can say I'm retiring and stay retired. Those are two good options. The worst of the options is to say you're retiring and then be like, just kidding. Because then you just look like an asshole.
Right.
So
we'll see. We'll see what happens. Prof, how do you feel about this? Because clearly you've got something to say about it. Are you one of those guys that thinks he's going to jump to AEW?
I'm just going to give you a history lesson, Jimmy. You just got to remember this. We were all in the same age group, and the Hami Nights know where I'm going with this. In 2008, Ric Flair retired. He had a great cinematic moment in WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels said, I love you, super kicked him. 1, 2, 3. Monday Night Raw, he got a great send-off, if you will. Everybody came, and his mother saying goodbye to Ric Flair. And what happened about a year later, he debuted in TNA, got a couple of matches in with Mick Foley, was a member of Fortune, was a member of Hulk Hogan's group and shit like that. Oh, wait, let's not forget the Australia tour with Ric Flair. I forget his last match was in 2024 from that 2008, Jimmy. So I'm just saying everything you just said. The reason you're talking about this, and by the way, it's kind of a little dirty news in my humble opinion. But again, you're talking about something real, but the discourse is dirty. And the discourse is dirty because of the trolling of e-drones and the sickos. All it is the motivation of the sickos. They just want AJ Styles and AEW for only one reason and one reason only, just to stick it to Triple H, stick it to WWE, have the match with Ricochet, have a match with Kenny Omega, have a match with Will Ospreay. And that's right. We don't know what AJ Styles wants to do. Maybe he wants to go to New Japan. Maybe he wants to do a TNA run. Or maybe he wants to do those matches in AEW because, again, he's very cordial or friendly with the Young Bucks, cordial and friendly with Kenny Omega. They would welcome him with open arms, and Tony Khan would welcome him with an open wallet too. So what's wrong with having one match in All In or fucking Revolution? Well, not Revolution. You know where I'm going with you. I have to say, All In England. He could just wrestle Will Ospreay, and Dave Meltzer would be Stan Marsh's dad on a computer jacking off, saying 8 stars for no goddamn reason.
Oh my God, it'll be 20 stars with AJ.
But it's all about the discourse between the trolling fans. That's the truth.
Well, look, if Tony Khan opens up the checkbook and says, name your friggin' number, and he goes, you know what, I want 10 million for this match, and he does it, then of course, by all means. But I think he's true to his word when he says, because the difference with Ric Flair and Edge and all that, they were forced to, WWE wanted them to retire, not that they wanted to retire. In this case, it seems like AJ came out and said he wants to retire, and not the other way around. So I think this is a little bit different, Prof, in my opinion, anyway.
Right, we'll and let's not do AJ Styles the disservice of comparing him to somebody who's mentally ill like Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Okay. Like even if AJ comes, even if AJ's, if this is not a real retirement or if he changes his mind or whatever, he's changing his mind. He can reserve the right to come out for a payday if he wants. And people can say what they want to say about it. But Ric Flair is not in the same situation. He's mentally unwell, right? That's not AJ Styles' problem.
But when you love wrestling like Flair or whoever, and then someone's telling you you're not on our watch, what are we gonna do? That's all I'm saying. I understand.
It's not about loving wrestling, Professor, and this is the thing that I think that a lot of people, I hope everybody hears what I'm about to say and understands it. Ric Flair doesn't love wrestling. Ric Flair loves Ric Flair, the character, because he can't face who he really is. On a day-to-day basis, he can't spend time alone. He has to be distracted, and this is the only thing he can do. He doesn't love wrestling, because if you loved wrestling, you wouldn't have done what you did and called it Ric Flair's last match. That abomination, you know you can't go any. You know that. And whether you know that and you do it anyway, or whether you're so oblivious that you don't know that you're disrespecting the entire sport of professional wrestling by putting on that farce of an event, you know, that was completely carried by the undercard, and then you almost died doing your part. If you really love wrestling, you would never do that to wrestling. You would never do that to your fans. You would never do that to any of the people that came before you. If you really loved wrestling and you respected wrestling, you would never have let that shit go on. But you did it because you're a psychopath. And like I said, you're mentally ill. Documented. So that's what it is. But don't confuse that for the love of wrestling. That's just some romantic bullshit that Ric Flair would have you believe because he's so messed up in the head.
I agree. That's actually a real good point. I didn't think of it like that, but it's all about his ego and money. I mean, we all know he's struggling for money, and that's another reason why he does this shit as well. I mean, he needs the cash.
You mean that Woo energy drink ain't making money?
I think
The mushroom harvest dried up.
Yeah. Did anyone even drink that shit? Did you guys even see it in the stores by any chance?
No.
It was right next to it was right next to the Prime stand.
Wow. Oh yeah. And what about these bullshit?
Can't compete with that.
Don't forget about the $600 cameo. Yeah, exactly. What a joke. And then he apologizes. And just quietly, Josh, you mentioned about AJ and having to get revenge on Omega and whatnot. That means Omega needs AJ needs what's it called? Sorry, Finn needs to get revenge on AJ, and it goes right down the lane. I mean, right down the line.
No, Josh is saying AJ's already built in booking with the Don Callis family to get revenge on Kenny Omega. It's right there.
For the Bullet Club stuff, though.
Right, but you have to join the Don Callis family.
For this past decade, he's been biding his time.
Yes.
I mean, shit. Look, I hardly doubt it. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Because we made a bet, me and Alice. We got till May. If he turns up in AEW, I owe him $10. And the other way around, if he doesn't turn up by May. So we'll see what goes on.
I think you're going to win that. May is a really short turnaround. I think you're going to win, Jimmy.
It was his suggestion, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't say it. He said it. So you said it, Alice. So we'll see what happens. I'll never retire. Yeah, exactly. Woo. Anywho, guys, what do you think about The Rock's daughter actually calling it quits from a professional wrestling career? Vet, are you excited that she's gone and she's not going to be the general manager, whatever she was in NXT? Was she just a waste of time, really, all this time? She couldn't wrestle, clearly.
Yeah, I would say she was a waste of time, and I don't say that to be like dismissive or, you know, like I'm not a hater of hers like a lot of people are or whatever. I definitely you know, don't think she brought anything. See what I did there? She did not, in fact, just bring it. But you know, in hindsight, looking at it, it's a waste of time. Sure, it's easy to see that. I mean, anybody could have done what she did as far as like the general manager part. The only thing she had was being The Rock's daughter, and they completely swept that under the rug and didn't use it at all. It would have been fun to have a general manager who was like, if my dad hears about this, like it just, like you could have made some entertaining television by using the fact that she's The Rock's daughter, and they did none of that.
None.
Didn't do any of that. So in that sense, yes, it's a waste of time as well. It's, you know, just, you know, the nicest thing I can say is that, nope, I'm sorry. I don't have a finish to that sentence. There's nothing nice I can say about it. It's over. And, you know, I don't think she damaged anything, but I just, you know, like I said, anybody could have done that.
Prof, what's your take?
At least they could have had the decency to write her off good. You know, have her beat down in that NXT parking lot that's so dangerous. You know,
yeah,
some masked man or somebody in a hood. You know, and then we find out it's Roger Stone that beat the shit out of her, so he can become the new commissioner. You know, have storytelling. That's what we want. Good storytelling.
I mean, you know, that car park is legitimately dangerous in real life too, right? I'm just saying.
You got perverts, you got pedophiles running around there, but you know, it is
Absolutely.
what it is. But again, what does she bring to the table? Well, you've heard all the Hami Nights have heard Vet's soliloquies every Wednesday on the Next Level Wrestling podcast. So, you know, I don't think I have to exacerbate on what Ava Raine has brought to the dance. I mean, anybody cannot say what was her greatest match. Nobody could say what was her greatest promo. And no one will really give her a decent grade of being an NXT commissioner. She just, you know, she read the cue cards. I'll give her that. And that's no shame on that.
For sure. Well, in AEW news, Jake something or Jake Doyle, whatever you want to call him, has confirmed that he torn his bicep. I wonder why. After that damn match with your boys, and we'll get to that when we do, it doesn't surprise me that he's hurt. That was crazy. Vet, did it surprise you?
That was all Jake Doyle's fault. I mean, FTR can only do so much and make it safe.
These four, I don't know, man. But look, I'm not even going to ask you. We'll get to that match. I just wanted to say that he does have a torn bicep. So poor old, what's his name, Davis, has lost another partner. What's going to happen to him now, man? He's like a curse to everyone that he's with, unfortunately.
Hey, look, his old partner is still in the Don Callis family.
That's true.
So we don't need to worry about him. We can always reunite Aussie Open. But it's weird because, well, what I heard, this could be dirty.
Is it dirty? Okay, all right.
I heard it was on a DDT.
Oh.
Which, I mean, didn't Dominic also get hurt on a DDT? Like, I feel like there's some people that are hurting weird body parts taking DDTs.
But how is the bicep, though, with a DDT? That's kind of weird to me.
I mean, you could tear a bicep doing anything, but it's just, I don't know. And it's definitely, if it's a bicep tear, I don't know if it's going to be really the muscle itself. It's probably a tendon or a ligament, I would say. You know, the things that don't get enhanced when you enhance yourself. So, you know, you always put, you know, more prone to certain injuries when you're doing something.
It's true. And he looks jacked. He looks like he's gassed out big time. Prof, what's your take?
I mean, again, it sounds a little dirty what I'm going to say, but we'll talk about it later. Well, we'll talk about it later, but I think the injury occurred maybe on the apron, on the ring apron or something like that. So we've already heard habitually that doing moves on the side apron is the most dangerous part, the hardest part of the ring. So why do those type of moves? And he tore his tricep. So it is what it is.
All right. Well, that was the news. Actually, that's there's not much going on today. So
I didn't feel dirty. I didn't feel dirty at all. So
it wasn't that dirty. It really wasn't. It actually wasn't as dirty. So that's why the real clean sheets will be starting next week. This was just a little rush job. But anyway, I won't even have a video package for that too. But till then, I think it's time to put our gloves on and we start sifting through that wreckage of AEW.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it. It's Dynamite, and we have, in the words of, I believe, is it Excalibur, who says that we have a massive match right now. And this massive match is Kenny Omega versus Rocky Romero. And right off the bat, I'm just like,
huge.
Yeah. Are you guys serious? Like, are you really serious with this?
I was pretty disappointed. I was excited for Kenny, and then I saw Rocky, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, he's Taz said Kenny was gonna have tough goings against Rocky Romero. That's his level of commentary on this, trying to sell this. Like, you could tell how disinterested all the parties were that they even had to call this match. Let alone
they don't care anymore. They say some shit these days that they just don't give a shit anymore.
Can I say something, and then Ben, you could go with your
review
of this massive match for all the ramifications. Let me just say this, guys. In defense of Tony Khan, and I've said this, at least you got some contenders for MJF. I have no problem with that. We need to establish some top contenders and some hunters to get after MJF, and we will talk about this during the whole review and all that stuff. But for Kenny Omega to be put in this situation in a massive match with Rocky Romero, at least give Kenny some kind of quality competition so we can feel invested. Like, oh my God, this is a hurdle that he has to go over. You know what this match reminded me of? What was it? And it took longer, but this match took longer than the previous one, like 5 years ago. Jimmy, remember that match he had with Sonny Kiss? Lasted 20 seconds.
It was on Dark. It was on Dynamite. Yeah, I remember.
During the COVID years.
Right, I remember.
But remember, it took him 19 or 20 seconds to beat Sonny Kiss And he had that face like, what are we doing here?
Mug.
What are we doing here?
Right.
My man, it took what, 5 or 6 minutes? That's a detriment to what Kenny Omega had to do to get over the hump. And he has to get this title opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead, Ed. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I mean, well, this would have been the proverbial strong win.
Is it really though? Oh,
no, it's not. It's not.
It's
not a strong win. It's massive, is what it is. That's
you're
what
right.
it is.
It's massive. It's huge.
No, but I mean, you're right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's insulting. There do have to be levels at which each of these, performers reside. Rocky Romero cannot be on the same level as a Kenny Omega. So therefore it should be much, much quicker, or you should have a boatload of interference before anything even, gets started. I'll give you an example of like the kind of psychology that we get, even from this, what should have been simple, cut and dried, basic stuff. So once again, Kenny does a move and completely blows it. Like he overshot Rocky doing a plancha. Like just not even the dive. He's doing the grab the rope, jump over the rope and land on the guy that's standing right there. And he still overshot Rocky.
That's unusual for him though. Now 2 weeks in a row, I think he's done that, right? Has he not?
That's right. So we're doing that spot. Like we start the match, blah, blah, blah. Rocky's in on the outside. You could feel this coming. If you've ever watched wrestling for any length of time, you could feel the rhythm of how this is going. When Rocky goes to the floor, Kenny's going to do something to dive on him or whatever. So he does the plancha, right? Okay. So they do that spot. He misses, but whatever. That's the spot. Then once they're back in the ring, they do the spot where Rocky Romero's takes a powder. And then dumb. Kenny drops out the ring to chase him around the ring. Like, so the entire psychology of dives, if you don't understand why people do dives in the first place in wrestling, it's not just because it's a flashy move, but there was a psychology to it. The idea being something like, I don't know, if the guy on his own free will leaves the ring, leaves the area of competition and decides he's going to go take a walk, and you're tired of chasing him around, you're like, motherfucker, I'm going to jump on you. You're trying to escape. I'm going to chase you down like a heat-seeking missile. That's where the dive comes in. You don't dive on a guy and then have him do the powder out and run around spot. These guys don't have the simplest grasp of psychology. And they've been doing it for decades, This is why I get frustrated when I'm sitting here covering these shows and reviewing what are supposed to be superstars or the people that are looked at as the pinnacle of this industry, and they couldn't even pass a remedial psychology class. But they don't even, it's bad enough. Forget what the professor said about Kenny not knowing or Tony not booking or nobody having the wherewithal that Rocky Romero shouldn't even be in this match, let alone last for 5 seconds, right? Let's not even worry about that. Once you're in the match, you have no idea what to do either. You're just doing random shit that and that's what makes this shit hard to watch.
But wait a minute, isn't this where the best wrestle?
That's what I heard. I heard that.
I mean, shit. Look, the Artist Return says, I'm correcting myself. Google says 40 matches since last May. He's talking about Kenny Omega, but still doesn't seem slower / less fluid. I just don't see the pop with him now. Like something's missing. Well, first of all, he is turning 43, right? So don't expect him to be the same Kenny that he was like 10 years ago. And he's gone through hell, man. If you remember, guys, he was hardly injury prone for many years. And then once he got injured, that was it. He was just getting injured all the time. You know what I mean? And especially now at his later age, he's just not going to be the same. But I think he can still work at a high level.
But Jimmy, I'm not expecting Kenny to still be at the same look because of diverticulitis or, again, Father Time is going to kick your ass no matter what. Absolutely. So it's up to Kenny to, take a step back and kind of adapt to a different style. But
He should.
He still keeps doing that stuff. But
You're right.
if he's going to keep going balls to the wall, I expect not him to be on every Dynamite or every Collision. I expect him to do 1 week and then maybe be off for 2 weeks, rest his body and stuff like that. But again, some of these wrestlers, some of today's generations of wrestlers are not, accepting that reality, and they're going to still go balls to the wall. And again, it's not going to be good for the body and not good for the quality of life.
I agree. And before we move on, I just want to ask you a question, Vet. He says, I'm going to push back to some degree, Vet, but isn't that all of wrestling right now? And if so, can we effectively say it's a pivot from the old school philosophy you're used to?
Last part first. No, we can't, because I'm not talking about old school philosophy. I'm talking about basic logic. Old school philosophy could be considered, I'm just going to work and I'm not going to take any bumps and I'm going to get all the money and I'm going to retire like early. That could be an old school philosophy or whatever. It's not how to psychologically do things within the match. As far as Kenny's health and concerns like that and age, the reason he looks the way he looks is because you don't get better at something by not doing it. Regardless of the reason why he's been out of wrestling off and on the past couple years, diverticulitis and other things, you just don't get better at something by not doing it. If you don't wrestle as well, you're not going to wrestle as well. And you can't wrestle as often because you don't have as often to wrestle.
Spot on.
The most you could wrestle is twice a week in AEW. Unless Kenny wants to book himself on a Ring of Honor match and then he can wrestle 3 times a week. But that's not the issue. I want to ask you a question, Jimmy, because you're the biggest Kenny Omega fan.
I was at one stage.
Well, I mean, of anyone here, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still a Kenny fan, for sure.
So would you consider, at any point in his AEW run, would you consider that in the window of prime Kenny?
Nah, absolutely not. Maybe at the start, I'll say
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, does the window from New Japan overlap to AEW at any point?
Just 2019. After that, absolutely not, in my opinion, man. I think 2019 was the peak. From 2015 to 2019, that's peak Kenny for me.
Okay. Well, even during that point, he still does some of the same things.
He hasn't changed. Even now, he's still not changing.
Right. Like, I've seen him in AEW and in New Japan when he'll do a dive on somebody and hit the guardrail with his legs.
Oh my God, that used to annoy me.
Because he's a fucking moron. So
well,
that's what I mean. Like, I'm not asking you to, change what you want to do. I'm asking you to change how you want to do it, because you're not the only motherfucker in there. Like, if you can dive on somebody, you wouldn't dive to the short side. You got the side with the full ramp. So if you want to dive on him, dive on the ramp side where you have room to land. Is that old school? Is it old school to not fucking hit the guardrail on a dive and fuck your leg up or whatever? Is that old school? Or am I crazy? Like, does anybody understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Just
Ben, you just missed. You remember those great matches that you're talking about with Magnum TA against Tully Blanchard when he dove and hit the guardrail with his legs? And that was old school right there.
It's so old school, man.
Old school.
Yeah, old school's cool, man. I don't know. But anyways, so after God knows how long, I don't have a stopwatch or anything. He finally hits the one-winged angel on Rocky Romero. I wouldn't have even beat him with my finish. I would have just I would have just hit him with one V trigger and put a foot on his chest, but whatever.
Right.
Anyways, so then, Shivani confusingly explains the title picture. Like, he's trying to explain how we're getting to number one contenders, and who has to beat who to get what and where and when and all this other stuff. And then Kenny gets on the mic, okay, and he's like, I hate to repeat myself. Then he does it anyway. And he's like, then here comes Hang Person, and then it's blah blah blah. I'm gonna be the champion. Then Swerve comes out, and he's like, no, I'm gonna be the champion. And then a fan in the crowd, because this is how silent the crowd is. I can hear a single fan say, "Burn his house down."
I heard it too.
And then Don Callis says, we run this show. And then they start playing Kenny's music. And then, because clearly somebody in the back's like, we're done with this. So they start playing Kenny's music. And then Kenny says, cut it. Yeah. No, you don't run this show, basically. It's basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said.
That was weird.
That's the problem I have. And all that, we could laugh at this, guys, but Kenny had to beat Rocky Romero to get a shot later. Who did Rocky Romero beat, Jimmy?
Nobody.
Was it all those ROH wins? Did I miss?
I don't know. I don't watch ROH. I have no idea.
That Tony Khan counts? That's the problem I have. It's Rocky Romero that Kenny has to be to get a shot against the winner down, from tonight's main event. For, I don't know if it's for Las Vegas or Grand Slam Australia, whatever the case. It's Rocky Romero, guys. That's all my problem is. Well, I don't even the segment with Hang Person and Swerve and Don Callis, and Don Callis lost his dentures. If y'all noticed,
was that his dentures or his chewing gum? I thought it was his gum.
I thought it was chewing gum, but everybody confirmed it.
Really?
This is clean. This is clean, but it was his dentures. It flew out of his mouth, and it was.
Yeah, I heard that, but again, I thought it was the gum.
It was his dentures.
Yeah, that makes it even better now.
Just say, but it's
wow,
it's Rocky. That's the problem. Beat Hechicero. I know you don't. You don't like me saying that.
We love Hechicero. What are you talking about?
I love Hechicero for that purpose of him getting that match for a title shot. That's a strong win. That's a massive win. Not Rocky Romero in 5 or 6 minutes, but a nice 12, 13 minute solid win for Kenny Omega against Hechicero. That's where it belongs.
Lance Archer didn't seem too busy.
That's true.
Next, we get a Cosmic Babes promo-nyet. That's a word I'm going to coin now. It's a combination of a promotional interview and a vignette. It's a promo-nyet.
I like it. It sounds Russian. Promo-nyet.
Promo-nyet.
That's cool. That's awesome. Promo-nyet.
Or Italian. Promo-nyet.
Yeah, promo-nyet. So
stop it, man. Fuck, I'm laughing too much.
All right. Jeez. Now we get a Continental Championship Eliminator match. Ace Austin versus Jon Moxley.
We got a sighting.
Oh, my.
We got Ace Austin sighting.
Oh, well, went for way too long too.
Yeah, you know what Ace Austin's nickname was in TNA?
Gambit. No, I don't know. What is it?
Not quite. The Inevitable.
Oh yeah, it says it on his butt.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's basically how I would describe the outcome of this match. I don't even really need to break it down for anybody.
He's a dumb frigging catchphrase for someone, dude. Straight up.
Well, yeah, at this point, I just assume they're just looking at stuff that hasn't been used, whether it makes sense or not.
He's a loser. That's his gimmick.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say this. Maybe I'm too old school for this, but you know, probably. with eliminators and open challenges, I hate them both now. I literally hate them both. Even though maybe you got nothing for Ace Austin, guys. That's all I'm just saying. But like you said, Vet, his nickname is inevitable. This match was inevitable. The outcome's inevitable. So what's the point? I don't want to use the Jimmy phrase, but where are we going with this?
You're bringing it back for me, bro.
Yeah, no, apparently Dynamite was just a night of guys coming in to lose. You know, I mean, you just have Rocky Romero. When does he ever have a singles match? Right? Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden he gets one when you've got you can't tell me the entire Don Callis family was booked up, right? You can't tell me that. We've already gave you some extra bonus names as suggestions. Then you got, Ace Austin. They had to make a point of how he was like undefeated in Ring of Honor. Well, thanks for telling me.
Wow.
Thanks for telling me. I didn't even know if he was still alive. So, because I seen his friends getting into fights where he's not around, Sure. So I just assume he might have died, but because otherwise he might have helped Billy and his kid or Juice or any of these other people, but instead he was over in Ring of Honor winning, racking up wins. So yeah, but the point of this segment, not the match, but the segment, was so that Takeshita could come out and give Moxley the old discount double check motion, and then Davis and Doyle attack. So there you go. Just to give them a little bit of a screen time before they get a little bit more screen time.
But I say this, Bet, so this way we go into this because I think I've been saying this for weeks, Hami Nights, and you know this. I've been saying that the best story that they are telling is the contention between Takeshita, Okada, and Fletcher. So the optics, Jimmy, I'll say this.
Takeshita a little bit, Prof.
No. Well, again, Takeshita's doing this on his own. He doesn't need any help from the Don Callis family. So Davis and Doyle was on the strict instructions from Okada. That's what it was. So
right. 100%. 100%.
That's what it is. But we have to remember this because I think when people just say, well, what's Davis and Doyle doing this? Because again, they're doing the bidding of Don Callis. And of course, the overall thing is it's going to be the Don Callis family against the Death Riders. It's going to happen no matter whether we like it or not. Stadium Stampede is right around the corner.
Oh, God, no.
Anarchy in the Arena is right around the corner. And don't forget, Blood and Guts will be right around the corner when you blink.
They're all right around the corner.
We just have to tell that story. It's a little bit sloppy, Jimmy. I say that, but
You think?
It's the optics that we have to keep. We have to be laser focused with the optics. One wants to do it for one reason, and then Don Callis has his own ulterior motives.
Gimmick matches, they used to have a point in the territory days. I heard Jim Cornette explaining this recently, and it definitely made me think about it. He said that in the territory days, you could have some crazy match because you were supposed to blow something off and then somebody was supposed to leave. But now you have a crazy gimmick match and then everybody just shows up for work the next day. So nothing's really ever over. Like what is somebody just supposed to take their L and be happy with it? I mean, that's how they end up doing it. They just don't talk about it anymore because it's lazy writing, But for a while there, a couple years ago, they had a nice sort of thing going on, let's say Raw, where you would have like Punk and Drew and Seth, and there's always like this sort of like intermingling of like the business is always unfinished, and they had a good flow going with that for a little while before they lost it. But other than that, with AEW, they just throw these gimmick matches that are always around the corner, and they don't solve anything. Everybody just keeps showing up, whether the Death Riders won or lost any of these matches, they just kept showing up and trying to kill people with no repercussions. So kind of makes you wonder why they even exist at all. But
well, it doesn't matter because Moxley now is the people's champ.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, we actually have the real people's champ up next. It's Mark Briscoe, and he has got to defend his TNT championship against El Clone, which this match was deferred from last Collision. They moved it to this. They moved it to this night, and I loved it.
I enjoyed it. Absolutely, I totally enjoyed it. Again,
easily match of the week. I don't think you could really
easy, not just match of the night, but absolutely probably match of the week. People might argue, the match with what's it called, with Briscoe and Ciampa on Collision, but no, I felt this match was better.
No.
This match was much better, and it had psychology as well, which surprises me because of our clone. You know what I mean? Because they say Mexican wrestlers don't understand psychology in the ring, but this guy gets it, man.
Well, Jimmy, we have to at least. I'll just say this: this is not dirty news. This is clean news here. There's a lot of discourse on social media with a spot within this match. You remember this spot? I think Mark Briscoe did the Jay Driller pile driver on El Clone, and my man El Clone just kipped up.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not saying I agree with it or not. No, I'm just saying that was the discourse because that's the most memorable thing about that match. About that, but Vet,
I was going to bring that up.
I'm just saying, but Vet, with that discourse, were the Marks taking it too seriously with that? I mean, I didn't mind the spot. I liked it for El Clone because of what you said, what he offers to the table.
I don't know what anybody said about it.
Thankfully,
I get to dodge all of that. I get to dodge all of that discourse because I don't follow anybody that would say that stuff.
I'll let you know. It was overwhelmingly, they hated it. This is why I don't watch, this is why I don't watch wrestling. There's no
posting the clip.
Yeah, posting the clip and all that stuff. So I just wanted to give you that.
Well, this is how I take it. He didn't hit the J Driller. That's how I took it.
Okay.
Like it was a counter. That's what I read it as. Like he didn't actually hit the move. The move was countered. So
that's actually a good
end
point.
of discussion, I guess. Like there's really nothing else
I just want to give out that discourse because everybody. But I just needed that experienced guy with the eyes for wrestling to at least calm down those sickos or marktars out there before that discourse. That had no meaning. I was just laughing.
Yeah, and the other that's kind of a thing that if you're watching Clone in the match, like he does things where he's like bridging backwards or like showing flexibility or agility or things like that. So the way I looked at it was that he sort of blocked the pile driver, I didn't really think about, I didn't look at it as, oh, he hit the J Driller perfect 100% and then he kipped up, and no sold it. I thought he never hit it in the first place. It was countered.
Yeah,
like escaped.
He's at the spot where he kipped up, like literally, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that at all, really. Because like Vet said, it's like he counted it. He didn't really hit it. So why are people like really crying about it?
You know why, Jimmy.
No, but that doesn't make sense.
It's trolls versus trolls. It's the people who hate AEW and the E-drones. You know how it is.
Remember when he done his finisher and then he kicked out of it? Maybe people will complain about that, right? But that absolutely, he literally counted it like completely.
He did a Neo Matrix when he counted the J Driller.
Man, that impressed me. As a matter of fact, when I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, damn!" Like I've never seen anyone do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. Also, the other thing you have to understand about, and this goes back to the psychology thing. I'm not saying that you need to bury everybody's finisher all the time, but you also have to understand that in real sports or real competitions, everything doesn't go according to plan.
That's what
Nolan Ryan got home runs hit off him by throwing fastballs. Okay? Michael Jordan has missed dunks and layups.
Don't say that too loud, Vet. Don't say.
I know. It has happened.
Yes.
Okay? And not every single pass that Tom Brady ever threw ended in a touchdown. He's been picked. It happens. It's just one of those things. And you could look at wrestling as anytime somebody kicks out of a finisher, you could look at it as, well, maybe he didn't hit it square. Maybe it just wasn't enough this one time or whatever. Now, that's not giving everybody carte blanche to prostitute everything out. But if you do things properly and everybody's on the same page in the company, then you can tell stories with that. You could tell stories within stories of that. It's very believable. Anybody that's ever survived a punch from Mike Tyson, like Mike Tyson has hit people with right hooks and they haven't gone down before. It's happened. It's just part of the game. So there's a way that you can explain anything if you want to. But I don't even think when people do that, I don't think when people like hit a finisher and then let somebody kick out of it, I don't even think their thought process goes that far. I think they're just like, oh, it would be cool if I kicked out of this finisher. I think that's what they think. but you could still.
But Vet, can I push back a little bit? I'm just saying, but
Please.
we're already in the generation of false finishes. So I think every wrestling fan is almost expecting people to kick out of their finishes at 2.
Yeah.
Let's say hypothetically, Mark Briscoe does the Jay Driller pile driver, right? And like the argument would be he hit it flush, but maybe El Clone kicks out at 1. Would that be different? Would that be a different discussion? Would that be like what we do? Is that nullification of that finisher that is that powerful? I mean, I think people can accept a false finish too, but if he kicked out hypothetically at 1 and just did what you like, he did a matrix kick out in his neck and doing that, would you say that's good psychology for the character of Al Quan, or is it a nullification of the move?
It's a nullification. It's unacceptable. You shouldn't kick out on 1, and you also shouldn't kick out on 2. You just shouldn't do it. But what they did to me was acceptable psychology wise, because it shows me that you didn't hit the move properly. So he countered and bounced off. Like, you could think about how, like, as he's coming down, perhaps he's pushing off, he's bouncing off, like he's pushing off of Mark's legs, rather than taking the full brunt with his head. So he's able to bounce out. I mean, you could explain it any way you want, but each individual case basis, you're going to have a different conversation. But I think what you're saying is we are in this age of false finishes, and that's just to be expected. And that's the fault of the performers for thinking that way. And the fans can't really do anything about it. The fans, I think we've all kind of come to be like, we just throw our hands up because we just get tired of complaining. So, but you can still dial everything back and re-educate. It just would take time, and it would take a willingness to want to do that. I don't think anybody has. So anyways, but the match was fun. And they did some cool stuff, and Mark did win with a roll up. So, there you go. And then he says that he wants an open challenge for Saturday, and the lights go out. And then we get the Psycho Killer, boys. The Psycho Killer's here, or the Psycho Kisser, because he came in the ring and he kissed Mark Briscoe for some reason. And he wore his full gear, just for that. His new jacket, his little panties. He came out in full regalia just to kiss Mark Briscoe and leave. So again, like, there's psychology to that too. Psychology being, why would I be dressed like this? Why don't I have some cool, maybe I can bring the jacket. Maybe I could bring my cool new jacket, but maybe I wear some jeans or some street clothes or something that, maybe my new t-shirt available at AEWshop.com or something like that. Maybe I don't just come out shirtless in my little trunks and stuff and boots and everything just to walk back to the back and get dressed again. You have to think about these things and how that makes you look, but what do I know?
But Tony Khan dropped the ball, the guys. And again, because Tony Khan spends thousands and thousands of dollars, buying trademark songs. If you're gonna have the Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa debut, he should have bought the song or copyright song, Talking Heads, Psycho Killer from the 80s. My God, we had it right there. It just worked. Psycho Killer. Oh my God, I would have popped for that. Talking Heads. Let's go with that.
I will say though, his theme wasn't too bad. I actually didn't mind it. I think it's better than his other big one.
But it goes back to his ROH days. Even though I don't remember his theme song in ROH, but
I don't remember it. Was that the same theme song from
Ring of Honor? That kind of like the same nature and the same kind of goings with it. But again, Tommaso Ciampa, this is a great example of, I guess he didn't like what he didn't like what was going on in DIY's neck of the woods, so he had to take that chance. And now Johnny Gargano's like, just give me a couple more weeks, I'll be right there with you. So
100%, I can see that. And good
riddance. What's up with Johnny Gargano being fat now? By the way, you see that on SmackDown? He used to have abs, but
true, he did.
He let himself go a little bit.
The food is great backstage, that.
I guess so.
Yeah, good for him. He's in AEW now. Is he going to be in the World Championship? Probably.
It's kind of telling too. It's just like, that's a Triple H guy.
I know it's crazy when you think
So
about it.
you can't say he's like it's like a cross situation.
No, no,
you can't say that. This guy was clearly, of course, if you ask me, I'm going to say he got pushed way too much.
Yeah, I agree.
And then once he gets up there, I guess no matter how much Triple H loves him, if everybody else in the room don't see it, even Triple H should be like, well, I can't do nothing for you, man. In the words of Flavor Flav. So,
well, he does fall under the category of under 6 foot. Remember my whole thing that I used to say? He's under 6 foot tall. He's probably under 250 even. He's winning world championships, guys. You know it. Come on.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, stay tuned.
Yes. Crazy.
But for right now, we have Renee with Kyle Fletcher and Okada says he's sorry. He explains about the screwdriver.
Right.
I wasn't thinking. Didn't mean to cost you your match. I'm sorry. Kyle accepts his apology. They shake hands. The people cheer. You can hear the people cheering for this handshake. So great job being heels, everybody. I guess.
But again, this is the bad camera work, Vet. It shouldn't have been a shake. It should have been a hug. And you could have the cameraman zoom in on Okada's face with that evil smile.
And him doing this in the background as he's hugging.
Well, we can't do that. Again, we got to do little subtle things. The eyes, Jimmy, you know that. And that wicked smile that he has.
He looked genuine, though. Right.
Yeah.
But we know where it's going to go.
Right. But see, now that is why he's the best. Because he knows that anybody could go back and watch this footage and see him if he did that. So he didn't do it, even though he was thinking it. He's always steps ahead in this game of human chess, guys. He knows.
Fully sold it. And I was waiting for him to say bitch or something, but he didn't. I'm like, oh, look at this guy.
No, like Vet said, you can't give him all your cards out there. You just have to make him feel good.
Right.
That's all it is. It was a
I
feel
think
good.
it's also affected Keshta, but more so than anything. Obviously.
I just think for me, I just would have loved the smile. That doesn't mean nothing. We can interpret a smile like, oh, I got my best friend back.
Right.
We just know his character. I just like that wicked smile he could just do.
Yeah. The Achilles heel of all wrestling angles is if wrestlers would just watch the show. That would completely destroy everything. MJF deserves what I don't know what they're paying him, but he deserves a bonus for trying to get Brody King over. My God. Like you have got to pay this kid even more money for this.
Those bars are feral, by the way.
Yeah, even though I would say that like as far as Brody King goes, he didn't completely shit the bed or anything. It's not like he did a bad job on this one. No. Still boring, but
yeah, he's still boring, but hey, he's a Nazi now.
Yeah. But anyway, he lets MJF know that he's going to have a title eliminator match with him next week. And then if he ends up winning that, he gets a title shot at Grand Slam, Jimmy.
I swear to God, if they do that, I'm not going. I'm not going to go. Fuck it. I don't want to see
You got a Brody King shirt, Jimmy.
No, I don't. Fuck him, man. I don't want to see that match. And I was saying it as a joke. I'm like, imagine they actually do that. But I feel like they are going to do that.
You know why they got to do that, Jimmy? Because again, the pay-per-view ain't until March. You gotta fill some time.
Have you seen the debacle of what's going on with those friggin' events? First of all, no one's buying tickets. No one. There's no advertising over there. Apparently, it's going to be a big, huge disaster, man. That's all I'm going to say.
Jimmy, can I ask you this, Jimmy? Do you know like the number of tickets sold right now as we speak?
Well, if you go to Stevie Richards' show or, his boy, what's his name again? James, he's got his own little thing about it. And funny enough, they want an Australian person to, maybe I should tell Stevie to like, hey, if you need an Aussie person to talk about this, I'll be more than happy to jump in. But he went through. So first of all, usually you buy tickets at Ticketmaster, right? But with AEW, when they say to go to AEWwrestling.com or AEWtickets.com, whatever it is, they truly mean that. The only way you can buy tickets is through the AEW website. Not many people really know that. They're looking at Ticketmaster, they're looking at whatever, right? But you got to go there. They don't really clearly state that unless you're watching the show. But they need to clearly state that in promoting the events too, which they haven't. So he went into to see what's going on with the ticket sales. It's atrocious. The Brisbane show is literally empty, pretty much. And the Sydney shows, yeah, a few tickets have been bought, but there's still quite a bit of empty seats. The nosebleeds are $200, mind you, as well. So I don't know. To me, it's a big debacle, and they continue to do it year in, year out with Australia, man. They just don't understand what's going on here.
Certainly, Brody King is going to pack them in.
Yes.
Oh,
like once 100%. We get it confirmed that match will take place, I assume that they will have to like reconfigure the websites because of the traffic will just be so great.
Be full of dogs.
Yeah.
You know how many Aussies look like Brody King?
There's a few. There's actually a few.
Gotta do it.
Trust me, there is a few. But anyway.
Well, here's something that's going to put some butts in some seats as well. The Bucks have a vignette, and they're going back to their old roots.
Oh.
Old roots, guys.
What does that mean?
It means tie-dye, super kick parties.
Oh, nice. I missed.
We're all invited.
Are we?
We're all invited to a super kick party.
Awesome. Can't wait.
When you got to tell me you're going back to your old roots, that means you have nothing creative for me. That's all I'm saying.
It's career suicide, more like it. I was gonna
let it just be organic, guys. That's the only thing. You don't have to tell me you're gonna just do it. I can tell what you're gonna be doing in the ring. You don't have to tell me what you're gonna do. That's almost like saying I got nothing in creative. Tony Khan's supposed to be this Book of the Year, guys. I've been,
he is.
It's not just me saying it. Fightful says it. It's not just me saying it. Dave Meltzer says it religiously every year. But you got nothing for the Young Bucks. The EVPs, they're I hate to say this, but their best gimmick was being the asshole EVPs. Going backwards. Yeah. Going ass backwards. What are we doing here? I'm taking your line, Jimmy. I'm taking your line. Where are we going with this?
Where are we going with this? I'll tell you where. That's where we're going with that. Jesus.
Hey, you know what's better than talking about AEW? Talking about Becky Lynch for just like 30 seconds. So did I don't know if you guys saw this, but obviously Becky's unhinged on social media, right?
I love that.
She's playing it up and having fun. And one of the things was she posted from the other night was like she's typing in all caps, I did not get eliminated or whatever, right? Like she's like, I did not get eliminated for the Royal Rumble. And then like it has the little reader's added context thing. It says Becky got eliminated from the Rumble.
That's awesome. She's killed it, man.
Very funny.
Absolutely.
All right, now back to some other women. Toxic Spider versus former space alien. She's a reformed space alien. I guess right. She didn't want any customs agents shooting her in the face or anything. So she's just a normal white woman from Long Island now.
Island, exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, they had a match.
Hate this match. Again, this is AEW typical bullshit. Yeah, I'm pissed because I hate Tekla too, mind you. I can't stand it, but I will say this. She dominated this whole fucking match, man. Again, the whole match, Stellan does 2 moves, game over. 1, 2, 3. And you know what did impress me about Tekla and what doesn't impress me about our champion, our women's champion in AEW? Clearly, Statlander does not know how to carry a match at all because it was all Tekla. She was carrying the match, which is crazy when you think about it, because I would have thought, wouldn't Statlander have a little more experience here? But I guess not, because she clearly doesn't know what the fuck to do at all. Clearly, this proves it too, because you could see it like clearly.
A couple years in stardom is worth a lifetime on the indies.
Yeah, it's true. It really is. Maybe she needs to go overseas and actually, sharpen her shit, because she really doesn't know how to do anything. Straight up.
Professor?
Wait, you talking about Statlander or Tekla?
I'm talking about Statlander here, and I can't stand Tekla, but I'm just saying that Tekla actually was carrying this whole match.
I'll just say this again, what I wanted, because what AEW did for the last year and a half was, bombard us with Monet and Tony Storm at the top. So you're your criticisms of this match just shows you the weakness of the AEW women's roster, because again, I think Statlander, what she's trying to do is try to be that, that champion, that good, the baby face, trying to overcome the adversity. I guess the optics just doesn't work for you, Jimmy. Is that what I'm?
Well, first of all, the calling of spots was so clear in this shit that it was annoying the heck out of me. You could clearly see Tekla just calling every spot for Statlander. What are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? It doesn't really bother hiding her mouth. And when she does try it, it's like this sort of thing. You can still see her lips. And it's like, for fuck's sake, I can read what you're saying.
It's better than John Cena yelling out your spots, too.
That's true. That's true. He gives no fucks.
At least you got that. So
that's true.
I'll just say this, Jimmy. Again, I said this months ago. It's refreshing for the women's division that you needed new challengers and a new champion. So that's the only thing I could say. I didn't mind the match. Maybe the psychology was a little bit off. But again, the one problem they had a year and a half ago, overshadowing 2 women, now you have a different problem. You're overshadowing 5 women in the same spot. The toxic, say it, Jimmy, with your sisters of dark sisters. Whatever. I'm just saying.
the sisters of sin, Professor.
Thank you. It's just them, the toxic spider, and we'll say in collision time will be Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, and then you just got the cosmic babes of wrath. Now you're just focusing. Technically, it's good to focus on 8 women, but now it's just those only 8 women. It's like, what are you doing it? That's a what are we doing here moment too.
It is.
Tony just doesn't know. Tony only knows how to focus on just a certain amount of people, and then everybody else is pushed to the wayside.
It's ADD, man, or some shit. He clearly has that. I don't know, man. It's weird.
And we have somebody in the back, guys. Well, she'll be out in a couple of minutes, but Marina Shafir, that's talent right there. Mother's milk and all. Where is her TBS opportunity? I'm still gonna keep saying
she should have won the most improved award, not friggin' Haley.
Well, that's subjective, but I'll just say, but again, where's Marina Shafir's TBS title shot? That's all I want.
I agree.
Well, if you just wait a little long enough, you'll eventually get a title shot or a title. You just
Eliminator.
get it.
Yeah, eliminator match.
An eliminator, exactly.
Welcome, Aaron Ben Shlomo, to the show.
Hey.
And yes, for me, I just thought this is just, when I was watching this match, I was like, yep, this is how matches are now. I didn't really think one way or the other about it. I didn't think it was terrible. I really didn't enjoy it either. It's the first time I've kind of gotten to pay attention to Tekla, because she's usually in, one of these tag team matches, right? I haven't seen her have a singles match since she wrestled Queen Aminata 50 times. So, the rest of the time it's all been like tags and 6s and stuff and 8s. So I was just like, okay, what do you got, kid? And like you said, Jimmy, it's like, we already know what Stat has. She's not, she's really iffy depending on who she's in there with. And she's still trying to, like, I don't know. I don't know if she, I can sympathize with Tony on, like, I wouldn't know how to market her. I don't know what to do. First, she was an alien, which that was probably her best.
It was.
Thing.
It really was.
And then it's like knockoff Rhea Ripley. And now it's like, I don't know what it is. Just a slightly flabby chick, I guess. I don't really know how else to. I don't know what the gimmick is anymore. But even if she doesn't have a gimmick, I don't know how to present a no gimmick version of her to anybody like that's supposed to get excited. That the people clearly are not as behind her as you would think they would be for somebody that's been there since basically day one.
Right.
Know?
And I don't
like
even
they like you see how, regardless of what we think, you see how they get with Hang Person. Right. But they don't get with her like that. They get with her a little bit. They get with her kinda, because they know that's what they're supposed to do, but their heart's not in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway.
It's out of respect almost, you know what I mean?
Right. But she wins with their finish here, and then Megalope comes out on the stage and they look menacingly. And foreshadowing. Foreshadowing a little bit. See a little.
They should be called Janelle's girls.
Yes.
I still can't
Gross.
believe
I don't
they
even
paid
want to
up
give
with
him any credit.
I know.
Anybody that doesn't know that, I don't want them to know that. I don't want him to get
All right.
any credit.
All right. Fair enough.
So we got Don Callis and Proto Shida, and Don suggests that, hey, Kyle, forgave Okada. Maybe Takeshita, you should also forgive Okada. And then Takesha's like, you forgave Okada? Like, you motherfucker. So
He looks so defeated now, Takeshi. Or is it just me? He just looks like he's so out of it now, man. Like, fuck this.
That's just great acting. That's the frustration. He's like,
I hope so. I hope it is.
He's got to get Fletcher back on his side because, like I said months ago, Jimmy, you remember this.
I know you called it. I'll give you that.
Someone's got to leave the Don Callis family. I thought it was going to be Fletcher, but it looks like Takeshita is more on
It's going to be Takeshita, man. They're fucking with Takeshita clearly here.
And then what's going to happen? Is Fletcher going to join him or is he going to turn on him? And then you already got a match in the making. So it writes itself.
I think, yeah, either way is exactly right. You could go the tag team route or the singles match, but I think Fletcher will stay with the Callis family.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier in the day, because the Death Riders are now of the people, so we need somebody to kidnap people and abuse them in the back. And that's the Demand's job now. So they've got Jungle Jack. Okay. and he tries his best to fight off his attackers, but they eventually do somehow. I don't know how the gates of agony were able to subdue this Tasmanian devil of an actor's child. I don't know how they were finally able to do it. It looked like hell, but they finally beat the shit out of him and calmed him down a little bit.
They beat the shit out of him, man, for real. Even when they chokeslammed him through the table, that looked hard, man. Or even into that steel barricade, whatever it was. When they threw him into that, the thing fell on him after that, which was perfect. I loved it, man. I actually liked it. And Ricochet looking back at the camera, like commentating at what's going on, was priceless. Especially with his eyes, the way his eyes were as well. He's like, it was golden.
Vet, can I ask you a question with this segment? Because again, I hate to nitpick a little bit because last week, let's not forget, we talked about this, weapons. One had scissors, the other had a buck knife. What happened to those weapons? I mean, you just said the gates of agony, the Demand attacked Jungle Jack, Brooks Jensen, and it looked too easy. But my man Jungle Jack had a buck knife last week. So again, I know we can't do murders. I understand that. Again, reality, I understand this, Jimmy. You can't do murders, but at least you can defend yourself with a knife.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute.
It look easy to get jumped by three guys. But
I got an answer. I got an answer for you though. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I was going to say they showed a vignette right before that segment of Mr. Captain Jack Perry, whatever you want to call him, with the knife. Did you guys see that? Did you guys catch that?
Yes, right. But this is very important. Okay. Jack has been known to take that knife and just stick it in stuff and leave it.
Right.
You've seen that.
We saw that.
Right?
Yep.
Very trusting. I wouldn't. That thing looks valuable. At least a couple $100 probably. So I would think don't do that, but he probably did that. So I'm guessing that is what ended up happening. He just stuck that knife somewhere and said, I'll be back for this later. And they were like, okay, we got him. And then that's when.
If that's what he did, well, you, Jack Perry, are a
stupid idiot.
There you go.
It worked.
You're right. We knew that. We knew that. We didn't need him to get kidnapped and beaten up to know that.
Why does he always get kidnapped, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
So sometimes he'll just get beaten up backstage, because he uses real glass or whatever. So just
he's a glazer now, actually, Vet. That's why.
Yeah. So
Hey, they tell me I'm a glazer. Some people in the comments.
I'm talking about, the real glazers, with windows and glass and shit.
I gotta get my glazed donuts, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a good segue because the next thing we have is a tag team match where most of these guys look like they haven't missed very many donuts. It's D&D versus FTR for your letters match for the tag team championships. Um,
Can I just say Stokely's logo for money is perfect, man. I'm just saying. It's a great logo. Absolute 10 out of 10 to Stokely for that. Where can I pay up? I want to pay up.
he's in a wheelchair because he's carrying all this, and it's crippled him. Yeah, we already talked about, Doyle, tearing his bicep at some point in this match or whatever.
Right.
But other than that, the match itself, I'm just going to turn it over to the Professor because
A lot of hard ways, just quietly.
this is the Pro Wrestling Reflection Spotlight. Any FTR stuff.
all I'm going to say, Vet, besides that, because again, I blame Doyle for being, very selfish and wanting to do a move that, Cash should not have been Cash and try to tell Doyle, I don't want to do this move here. I want to do it on the floor where I could protect you better. But Doyle, that dummy, said, "Don't worry, I got this. I know how to protect myself." He didn't, but neither here nor there. And another thing to Tony Khan and Don Stevens and your burners, do not use FTR as pawns. Do not use FTR as pawns for other storylines. Because, Jimmy, this match had nothing to do with the tag team titles, even though it was for the tag team titles. I forget this. The anchors are true. Yes, it was. Okay. The anchors were being used as pawns in a tag team championship match, Jimmy. Mm-hmm. Because all it was about the Death Riders and John Moxley himself, the People's Champion, like you say, getting his comeuppance against Double D's.
Right.
And because of that interference and that distraction, that's why the FTR wins. FTR don't need the Death Riders' help, but is the FTR, are they trying to recruit help? Maybe, but make it make sense. Don't make them pawns in something. Because again, the stuff.
We're not the champions pawns, bro. We're not the champs pawns.
It's bad, but it's ass backwards booking. I was very angry about this bet. Again, how does Tony Khan just drop the ball on the best tag team in the last 6 years, and then you have a 5-star match and Doyle messes it up, and then you have a storyline that has nothing to do with FTR. You could have used the Crew for this. You could have used the Rascals for this match. Not FTR. You need the anchors to bring up the tag team division, not bring it down. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sorry.
There was some crazy spots though in this match. You know what was good when was it Cashton jumping for the leapfrog, and then what's it called? Jack Doyle jumps up and it's like a rejection in basketball, like full blocks him, just bang, and he just went down. I thought that was a cool spot. But did you guys notice there was a lot of hard ways going on here? I'm telling you, Daxon did not did not blade his eyebrow. First of all, if you saw that, he had a pretty deep cut right here. Mr. Jake something, I like calling him that because that's what he was bleeding up on his hairline, which I didn't see. He didn't have the time to blade because FTR was just kicking the shit out of him at one point.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it. Not in this match and not in that way.
Right. So no, you wouldn't blade up here. That's the thing, because you won't get that bloodstream. The hair will just absorb everything. You know what I mean? So it seemed a little off. I don't know if these guys are just very green. The chops on friggin' on Dax. Man, did you see the blood just pouring down from that? That was pretty savage too. So the match was just, I enjoyed it just for how stupid and bad it was in a sense, and just how they were just beating the shit out of each other. But really, man, all four of these guys were just, I hate to say it, man. Is this supposed to be the world's best tag team, Prof? But I don't know, man.
You gave them chicken shit and they try to make chicken salad, Jimmy. They can only do so much.
They made literally off.
They can't do anything. I was actually listening to, because I always bring it back to Jim Cornette, because he loves FTR and hates Okada, right? So I always bring it back to him. And I was listening to him go through like the list of like what FTR has done or not done, I guess, in the sense of like, and we know how much he loves them. And when he actually lays it all out and is listening to it, and then he always talks about like, they had the greatest match ever in the history of television against, as he calls them, Gin and Juice, meaning Juice Robinson and Jay White. So he loves that match, says the greatest match ever. And he's literally said it's the greatest match on American television, and 20, 30 years or whatever whatever he said. Like he really loves it. And then he's never praised FTR about anything since. He keeps trying to make excuses for them about everything they do rather than just realize, don't you think it was actually just the fact that Jay White is a genius that match was so good? And because if they were that good, it would never be this bad. You know, like a really actually good tag team that knows how to work is able to, at the very least, go 50-50. Like, yeah, maybe I have some good matches, some bad matches, depending on quality of opponent. But no matter who their opponents are, it can't be all their fault. Like, at some point, if FTR is the greatest tag team in the world, you have to be able to trick people into thinking that these other tag teams are any good. And they never do that. So, and again, I'm leaving myself out of this. I'm just talking about when I was listening to Cornette lay out their career in AEW, saying they worked with so-and-so, they worked with so-and-so, they worked with so-and-so, they worked with so-and-so, and he hated all of it. And I'm like, yeah, are you starting to see a pattern here, buddy? Like, your boys ain't who you think they are, but they sure do know how to watch an old VHS tape. Anyways,
in AEW, I hate to say it, they really are. But anyway,
yeah, well, it wouldn't be no different in WWE. They wouldn't have any, you know, like we've seen them work
half this shit though, like this bad. Like if you know what I mean in WWE, I think it would be more structured.
Yeah, because I think the WWE requires you to listen to your agents more.
Absolutely, for sure. I have no doubt about it. They have to listen to the agents, no doubt.
You know. But anyway, the point is Jon Moxley and the Death Riders cost Double D's their chance. So close but no cigar, guys. FTR still the champs and the pawns.
Yeah.
They're the kings and the pawns.
Mass storytelling. Yes.
That's awesome storytelling.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's some more storytelling. Renee is with Orange Cassidy in the back, and he's like, who is Wheeler Yuta anymore? I don't even recognize this guy. And then when, you know, Yuta comes in and Marina comes in, and before anything can get too crazy with Tony and Tony Storm showing up and Marina, and before anybody can suck anything, a bunch of security comes in to break it all up. So we don't get anything exciting. But, you know, just a little bit of a tease for, you know, where we're going with this, perhaps.
Didn't Yuta mention his Canadian suit tuxedo?
Yeah, the Canadian tuxedo. Your main event tonight is Swerve Strickland versus Andrade El Idolo.
Interesting.
I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said. I find Andrade to be the money here, and I find Swerve to be a massive disappointment.
Can I ask, actually, this is a good segue. I want to ask you first, Vet, but is Andrade redeeming himself suddenly in the second round in AEW, do you think?
No, Andrade has always been who he is. He's always been money. It's just that there's been some unfortunate things here and there that line up in just such a way that make it seem like he's the problem. And he's definitely not blameless.
Right.
But, you know, him wanting to punch Sammy Guevara, that's not any different than me. So how am I going to hold him accountable for that? Who doesn't want that? Right?
Oh, let's see.
So like
Absolutely.
shit like that. I just think it's a matter of being able to manage him. He is ingovernable, so you just have to figure out how to govern him in a working way to maximize for your thing. And I don't think he's definitely not the most unruly character that's ever had a job. No, so I just figure like, but you look at him, you know, like physically, you look at him just like his handsome. He's got style. He's got the gear. The gear is always good. The entrance gear is always good. The music is good.
An idiot, man, for like dumping him. I don't get it.
Yeah, everything. It's all there. So you know, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, this is just the Andrade that we're used to. I mean, he had a good run. You remember when he was in NXT, back when NXT was good?
That was his best run.
Yeah. And
When it was
you know,
Almas.
right. And we've known before that, La Sombra, you know,
Yep.
CMLL New Japan, you know, we've
Loved him.
known what he can do.
Absolutely.
So and I think that what you're seeing on these shows is you're finally giving him a chance to do it. You know, of course he can deliver. So yeah, I don't think he's like redeeming himself. I think this is just what we were supposed to be getting.
Well, yeah, but what I mean by that is because for so many years now, the last 4 years at least, he's just been crap. And I guess it's not he's bad.
Yeah, not him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Like
what
I never
mean
saw
by
him go
redeeming.
out there and be like, "Oh, this guy's crap." It's always been like
no.
the
Absolutely
situation of, "Oh, you're just randomly doing this," you know.
not. Right. And
So,
by the
what
way,
about you, Professor? Though, Professor, you're
Everything you just said just reminds me of FTR getting crap storylines, crap booking, and all that stuff. You can't make chicken shit out of chicken salad. You know, that's what it is. That's where we go with that. But I'll say this: why Swerve? Why not him have a massive win against someone like Angelico? You know, for a shot against Kenny Omega. Why did it have to be Swerve? What kind of racism we get? Kenny Omega gets Rocky Romero, but Andrade has got to go against Swerve? What's wrong with here? What's
Andrade got a
here?
super duper strong win though. In this case, you know what I mean?
right. Yeah.
All I'm just saying is the optics, man. Why not Angelico?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, to that end, you're exactly right. Like Kenny gets to face Rocky, and you know, like this isn't quite fair. I don't think it's not equivalent, you know, but
That's all I'm saying.
But regardless, he does get the win over Swerve,
Which is
right?
a shocker, man, to me.
Which means that we are going to close that loophole on Kenny Omega now.
Right.
So there's your long-term storytelling.
Exactly. Right.
Yep. And the way he does it though is he quickly grabs Aubrey and she's like, "Get off of me." And then when she, you know, does her over dramatic pirouette, and turns away for just a second, he kicks Swerve in the balls and then hits him with the finish. So there you go.
And did you notice, talking about Aubrey, did you know she was counting in Spanish during the clone match? I forgot to mention that. And I'm
Hilarious.
like, oh my God. I just rolled my eyes. I'm like, really? Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, I just had to mention that.
Yeah. So then afterwards, Renee is with MJF and he's trying to do an interview, but he gets interrupted by everybody else. Kenny Omega's there, Andrade's there, Hang Person's there. He finally can't take it anymore and he escapes in his waiting SUV.
Yeah, that flew off.
Yeah, and that's how we go out the show. So there's your Dynamite. A lot of weirdness.
A lot of weirdness, but I've seen worse. It was not bad.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, nothing wrong with having the top contenders hunting MJF, but then where we started from the show with Rocky Romero to where we ended, and I don't think it was, again, if they're trying to like cut the plot holes of Kenny Omega and Andrade, you know, again, that was long-term storytelling because Andrade attacked Kenny Omega weeks ago, which now they could actually say on next week's Dynamite, but they won't. I don't know if they will do that, but they'll probably kind of like glaze around that. Get that word, glaze, Jimmy? But neither here nor there. But now the problem I have is, again, this is where we need, Yvette will chime in on this one, but this is where you need that general manager. Because again, what really hurts the storytelling and what hurts the product is you already hear like, well, Tony Khan announces next week it's this such and such and such. But I think you still need that television presence of a general manager, whoever the case may be. Get somebody, I don't care. Make Nigel McGuinness that matchmaker or something like that. So again, because either that needs to happen or MJF should just do, because he's the Dick champion, the Triple B is his. He needs to make the rules and make the stakes like he did for Brody King. Even though we don't like Brody King, well, Jimmy, you will love Brody King in Australia for the moment. But
I'm gonna be barking like a dog.
He at least did something for Brody King. Brody's got to earn his shot with the Eliminator.
Right.
He could do something with all these guys wanting a shot at him. That's the compelling story that can play itself out on TV and work its way to the pay-per-view. That's all I'm saying.
Let's just hope for the best. We'll see what happens there. But
hey, Ava needs work. Get Ava.
Why not?
AEW needs a commissioner. We need Ava.
And Aaron, by the way, he did have his mask when he was walking to the ring.
Yeah.
Just quietly.
Yeah, so I guess the only reason I could say that you don't have one of those authority figures is because you feel like you want to be different by not having one. But that's not a good enough reason because you still half-ass tried it with Christopher Daniels and then you just gave up. So
yeah, I forgot.
Like I guess you just have to find somebody that you feel like is comfortable or you're comfortable with in that role. If you want to do it. But I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's. Yes, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah, but we'll just have to see. Don't worry, guys. We're not quite done yet. We still got Collision, so we're gonna start out with. I didn't know we were getting this match, but it's Clark Connors versus Darby Allin.
Why? I have no idea.
I have no idea, but it's jump started by Clark Connors. He used to be the wild rhino. I don't think he is anymore. I don't know.
That was a wild cowboy, now. It seems.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah. Maybe he realized there was already a rhino associated with wrestling and he just decided maybe don't. But anyways, they have a match. Whatever. Darby puts the scorpion thing on and Clark Connors taps out. And then Gabe Kidd come out for Gabe Kidd business. I
hate the
Gabe Kidd, Jimmy.
I hate the way his promo just sounds so. His voice is just so like I don't know, man. It doesn't suit his look. He's like, I want to challenge you. You know what I mean? He's got a bit of a high pitch. Anyway, this sucks, and I guess this is their lazy way of getting Darby back with the Dick Riders. You know what I mean? Literally, and that storyline. And apparently, he's going to end it in. It's going to be his year, like he said, in 2026. Apparently.
Oh, are we sure that Gabe Kidd's going to be still involved with the Death Riders in some way, shape, or form, Jimmy? Or are we going to get those War Dogs? You know how they sold out the Tokyo Dome. You know how the War Dogs sold out Kirk and Hall and all that stuff in Japan. They made all that money. They made the millions for Gato.
Oh, man.
I heard some dirty news, guys. So dirty.
That's got skid marks all over this shit.
Yeah, I don't even think I think we're just gonna need to go straight to the shower. I don't think we can wipe this. But
I didn't say it. Gabe Kidd said so. That's all. I'm just
No. Well, no, I'm about to tell you because the dirty news is that the WWE is aggressively interested in Gabe Kidd and Drilla Maloney.
Oh, yuck. I don't buy that shit.
Well, I did say it was dirty, so
it is very dirty.
Yeah.
Makes me want to throw up, actually.
Yeah. So, Jet Speed just wants you guys to know that they have Hang Person's back.
They do.
Mm-hmm. And I believe they have settled on Jet Set Rodeo, apparently. Kevin Knight still tried to get it over, so.
I still think of Jet Set Radio when I hear that, but whatever.
Yep. All right. Next is, this, I guess, is the reason why they couldn't be used as pawns, but Crew got all booked up with the Rascals. Booked up and tasked with making the Rascals look like something. Crew with the Koopa jackets. Don't worry. They definitely had some new, fresh Koopa jackets on. And this was the kind of match these guys have. I don't care about 75% of this match. I always like Leo Rush, but everybody else is kind of a cheese sandwich to me. So,
I was confused on who were the Rascals in this match. They all look the same.
Yeah, I guess this is the This is Rascals Classic, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. They need a Rascals division, it seems.
Nothing has changed with the Rascals even since TNA days.
Right.
Nothing has changed with them as MSK and NXT days. They're still the same, and they still do the finger waves or whatever the case may be. Maybe they should come out. Maybe they should be smoking weed before they get into the ring, and then you can't do that.
Allegedly, they did.
Well, they did. Well, in the locker room,
it's all smoking out in the locker room. Come on, man.
Yeah. All right. Any other comments on this? Any final thoughts? They win with the shove salt. Yeah, where he does the standing moonsault and his partner shoves him.
Yeah. The shove salt.
It's that weird that traveling centrifugal force that's really devastating. I think a normal moonsault wouldn't do it, but when the moonsault is slightly when the moonsault travels 1 foot, when it travels horizontally 1 foot, that really just makes all the difference. I know Jimmy was ready for the Hater and Windsor vignette here. Yeah. Another short film.
Does Windsor think she's sexy or something? What's up with that?
Winter. Remember that.
Winter. Oh, yeah, sorry. Hail Windsor, whatever the fuck.
Windsor.
I hate I can't stand either one of these ones, but especially Ospreay's missus. Eesh. I don't know how we can put up with her. Imagine her going, Windsor every day.
Yeah, he started dating her and she already had someone else's kid.
Which is his kid now, apparently.
Imagine that, though.
I mean, shit. If he likes to go for fucking sloppy seconds like that, I mean, I'm not judging.
Yeah. Judge this. Moxley does a promo.
Oh.
To Takeshita. What do you give it?
Do I have to give us an answer to that?
You mean on a cheese sandwich scale, Vet? Is that how we grading this?
No, I think we can go with a traditional, don't care to really don't care.
All right. How about I take something from your book, actually, Vet? I'm going to call this a craft singles, bro.
Oh.
That's what that shit is. Because craft singles, you know what I mean? I mean, I've done a lot of time with craft singles over the years. This is it right there. And I try to avoid that shit by any means.
Gotcha.
I'll go with don't care or me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he's just picking up some business, talking to Takeshita. That's it. Nothing major. Just making sure we've got our I's dotted and T's crossed. Orange Storm versus Gino Medina and Lady Bird Monroe.
Who's Gino Medina?
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Larry Bird.
I swear I've seen this guy before.
I could have sworn this Larry Bird was like one of the best ever.
MLW?
Maybe.
MLW,
maybe ROH.
Maybe is he from Indiana by any chance?
I don't know.
No,
Chad? Gino Medina.
They said it was local talent, Jimmy. They said it was local Texas talent. So maybe they're, yeah.
I could have sworn it was a Larry Bird that was from Indianapolis that played in Boston, but maybe I'm seeing things.
No, that's the other guy from French Lick. This is the Texas.
Okay. Why Larry Bird, though? Seriously. Like, why?
Not
who the
Larry
fuck came up
Bird,
with that
Lady
shit?
Bird.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I say Larry Bird.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is Lady Bird, but still, it looks like Larry Bird.
Oh. Well, she didn't necessarily look like, well, she is white.
Are you
I don't
saying
know.
Bird's the word?
No, I'm not saying that. Anyways, look, whatever. You know who won. And then Wheeler, Yuta, and Marina did a special interview, and then we get proposed a hair match. Tony Storm proposes a hair match, hair versus hair match for Grand Slam. Jimmy, will that sell tickets?
We obviously know what's going to happen here. Obviously, Yuta's going to get the haircut. All right, there's no ifs or buts about it. He's the guy to get it. And no, it doesn't sell tickets for me. This is just ridiculous. I don't want to see a fucking. I mean, I've already seen enough with Brutus the Bubba Beefcake back in the 80s. I don't need to see this shit. Is Tony Storm going to become Brutus the Bubba Storm? Is that what's happening? Yeah. Well, then I'm all for it.
But you have to be consistent. But you have to be consistent, Jimmy. You wouldn't want to pay to see Wheeler and Marina both get their head shaved?
No, see, there's a stipulation. Whoever gets pinned is the one that gets their hair
And
cut
this
off.
is why we need a matchmaker. We need an official matchmaker and a GM to make the rules proper, because you can't have. So then you're telling me, Jimmy, we can have 8-man combustible element clusterfuck, but the person who gets pinned is the only one that that gets
right.
their head shaved?
That's I know it was hard to hear that, but that's exactly what they said.
You know, we don't need a general manager or anything. Tony Schiavone does a great job mumbling through it and fucking it up. You should be able to follow it. Lexi is with
or what? By the way, on Dynamite.
Lexi's with LAX and GYV, and then the Learning Tree collect a bounty by taking out LAX.
This is good.
Yeah,
they did a proper bounty vet.
That's right.
There's no lasso fucking.
Yeah, that's true.
They got paid. They did their thing, and now they can leave. Now they become.
They
APA.
must have been listening to this damn show. I'm telling you, we've been saying this for so long. But anyway,
right. Yeah, except for the lasso part, but
right,
everything
exactly.
else. All right, so next week we're gonna get a parking lot brawl.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right, now we come to the low point. Ciampa versus Briscoe for the TNT Championship.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I know. I don't like this for the reason, does Ciampa need to be champ already?
Apparently.
Like, what the fuck is he doing?
Well, if he doesn't have a championship belt to hold, then what is he? That's his whole thing, is holding a championship belt. So if he doesn't have his one gimmick, he doesn't work. So I guess they just had to put him over Briscoe here.
Or Jimmy, you got to look at it from this standpoint. Let's go with the discourse of social media. What do people say when one goes to, let's say, from AEW to WWE and vice versa, right? They're gonna get
losses. This is that. Fuck him.
Not only
he never did anything in AEW, for example.
Not only that, but they'll make that like wager. They'll be like, look, 5 months from now, Ciampa will be on Ring of Honor jobbing out at Helico or some shit like that. So Tony Khan listens to that discourse or reads those discourses and has to prove to y'all that Tommaso making the jump to AEW was very beneficial. So who has to get sacrificed? Mark Briscoe. So instead of us having like Mark Briscoe having another strong win, no, we throw a curveball. The only thing about the curveball is, he is called the Psycho Killer. We do remember like the NXT
Sicilian Psycho Killer, mind you.
The Sicilian, yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me.
But they're not calling that.
Yeah. Well, maybe in a couple of weeks' time, Jimmy. So remember, he's got to file more trademarks in the coming weeks. But neither know that. But we got to remember what he did in NXT and the Goldie. So we haven't seen the full Psycho Killer character per se. It hasn't manifested yet. So once you get we push aside the family unity, he's hugging his wife, hugging his kid. My dream came true. I don't know how the TNT title became a dream come true, but neither know that. But then the character will manifest, and then Goldie will happen, and we'll see the Psycho Killer come to fruition with Goldie.
What was you gonna call it?
I ain't say it's good. I just said it has to manifest.
Well, Vet.
Yeah. Well, Kyle Fletcher loves it. He comes out and he applauds. We get another Josh Alexander promo while there's a hallway beating going on. So if you're not tired of that gimmick, or if you want to see Lance Archer do a fat guy crossbody on 3 guys in the hallway, then this was the segment for you. Then we come to Adam Priest, which I know you're already in your minds. You're all saying, who? I know you forgot already.
No, he's been around.
Yeah, I know, but they forgot, Jimmy. They forgot.
Okay.
Yes, taking on Okada for some strange reason. This match is happening. So Okada's they signed was it the nephew of the original Dynamite Kid? Is that
the nephew?
The nephew.
Right.
And now this is his tag team partner, who actually has taken enough steroids to look like the original Dynamite Kid, or he's on his way. He's trying. Okay. And, you know, much like the whole, this is even more egregious than the Rocky Romero thing.
Yeah, because this is a damn title match too, to a nobody.
Yeah.
So
So
I wasn't going to say nothing, but that was just my notes. Who do you mean to get a shot at the international title?
Or who got snowed in that didn't get to make their flight, that this guy had to take this match and that they had to pull time with it. Because the match started out with Okada treating him exactly like he should have treated him.
But
you know,
way too long, man.
Yeah, but then it turned and it kept going and it kept going. And it just was way too, I mean, it's not like it wasn't enjoyable for me to watch, but once I step outside of the vacuum, you know, and look at the totality of it, it's like, this wasn't really good for the show for Adam Priest. Like, if you wanted to put another person in this role, you know, that would be okay. But Adam Priest is not the guy. If you're going to use Adam Priest, it's got to be like 2 minutes. If you are going to use somebody else, then you could have like a match that goes through a break. But whatever this was, ill-advised. Of course, you know what's gonna happen anyway. It just takes too long to get there.
Weird booking, weird situation. But sorry, Prof, go for it.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, and Rocky Romero had to interfere in this match, which really got me mad. I'm like, wait, this is Okada, one of the best professional wrestlers, one of the best careers, one of the best legacies, and Rocky Romero is assisting Okada over this jabroni. I had to use that term. And if we want to talk about storytelling, at least you could have used the Continental Classic storytelling where who beat Okada in that tournament? Kevin Knight. You know, just me. Either one or both of them beat Okada. They could at least had an international title shot. I could have at least accepted that 20-minute match and for Okada getting a win like that.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. But then again, I mean, I know you're just using Kevin Knight as an example, but it's just that he, you know, already lost to Swerve, and you know, we can't keep playing the he's going to give him a hell of a fight card every single week with Kevin Knight because he's already on the job train.
But the future is now. That's all I'm saying. He's the future.
Actually, well, yeah. I guess when you put it that way, you should have put Kevin Knight in there.
Yeah.
But maybe he got snowed in, and that's why he and Bailey had to mail in their promo. So,
by the way,
Lexi,
sorry, I just wanted to point out that Kevin Knight and Trick Williams are very close, man. They keep doing shit together away from wrestling for whatever reason. So,
do they?
I found that kind of interesting. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Vet.
Lexi's with the Rascals, and Eddie Kingston says he wants a parking lot brawl 8-man tag team war.
8 man.
8.
Didn't even remember that he got the kick. He got the kick shit out of him, man, by the Bounty Man.
Yeah, he woke up and came over here and demanded this.
And his wife beat a singlet. I like it.
I guess Ortiz isn't going to make it because by my math, my math says there's 3 Rascals and there's 2 LAXs. So the sides aren't really even. So I'm thinking somebody had to sit out. So I don't know if that's Myron, or I don't know if Ortiz is just too damaged from his beating from the Bounty to be able to be cleared for next week.
That's the storytelling. That's the story. So you just already wrote it. Ortiz is hurt so bad that it's going to be the whole Rascals.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, Myron Reed better wear his vest because he's good. It's this parking lot war. It's tag team war, guys. Let's see. Like Professor mentioned, Lexi was with Ciampa and his family and his new child. And then we get our main event of the evening. It's the...
It is the Sisters of Sin versus the Babes of Wrath.
That's right.
Man.
Yeah. I'd like to take a moment here to talk about Willow Nightingale.
Oh.
There was a spot that they tried to do that they fucked up where Dark Julia, went to give... Go ahead, Julia, you can.
All right.
Dark Julia.
Yeah. She went ahead and they did a spot where she tried to give a Hurricane Rana to Willow.
Bad mistake.
And Willow didn't go and just kind of decided, I'll just powerbomb Julia instead.
Well, let's be honest though. Julia's how freaking, look at her size. Look at Willow.
So that's where I'm going with this.
Okay, cool.
It's the reason I wanted to bring it up, because it doesn't even matter that I'm not saying, hey, you messed up the spot. I'm saying you should never have done this. If it went perfectly, you should not have done this.
Because it looks stupid.
You can't. This is a message directly for Willow. Okay, look, to put it diplomatically, Willow, you are a plus size lady. Okay, and don't be ashamed of that, because it sets you apart from a lot of the other women here, like Julia, who's a twig. So you don't need to be taking physically impossible bumps from a twig. If Julia could give you a Hurricane Rana for a shoot, then you could consider doing it, but she can't, and you know that. So just don't do it. You lean into what's different about you and you make that different. I don't care if you're athletic enough to do stuff, which you clearly, I mean, even if you are athletic enough to do it, you weren't coordinated enough to do it because you fucked it up. And it's not the only thing that you fucked up in your career. I watched your career in AEW since day one. I've seen you fuck up a lot of stuff, Willow. So this is just the latest one. But here's the thing. If you kept it more simple and told the story by how you look and how you're different, you don't have to have the same match everybody else has. And you don't have to do shit like this. So I'm glad that you embarrass yourself on national television so that you're not going to learn a lesson from it, but, and everybody ended up okay from this, but just everybody, it's not just her, has to realize who they are in that ring. If you want to do a spot where Julia stupidly tries to do something like that, that's one thing, but you were going to do it. You were going to 100% do it. And that's not cool. So
I need AEW to make, I need to go on my AI app and make an AEW BBW champion to give it to Willow.
Yeah, just hand it to her. Just like right out of the suitcase, like Eric Bischoff or, Triple H with Seth Rollins,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but they do end up beating Dark Sky here. And, then Tekla comes out and Statlander comes out and Megalope comes out and oops, we're all out of baby faces. So I guess heels go up and we go off the air with the heels standing tall. Professor,
what did
the
I
right
say?
team win?
Did the right team win? Well, after everything you said about Willow, my favorite BBW, I can't defend that, but it is what it is for the moment. But again, like I said, previously, I said Tony always focuses on certain things, and then everybody else is laid to the wayside. And then this is a perfect example. And of course, Tony Storm and Marina Shafir is doing their own thing. So you got two things. That's it. Supposedly, the stack division is always getting overshadowed. And there's still plenty of women in Ring of Honor. We don't need to name those names. And then somebody even gets signed into All Elite Wrestling that they were making a big, like Persephone is All Elite. I'm not saying that she needs to be, lumped into this, but yeah, where are the baby faces? You just had Blood and Guts, and again, the odds are not in the baby faces favor right there. So who you got to bring somebody on the come up. And they're not even doing that. That's the problem right there.
Is the women's roster really that stacked in AEW though, when you look at it and when you really break it down?
Don't take my word for it. Tony says it. Tony Khan says it.
Of course.
Interesting choice of words, stacked.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stacked ladies on the team. But how many of them are players?
Right, exactly.
And by the way, I don't miss Mercedes Moné one big. I haven't even thought about her, but I just wanted to say that name too.
Well,
But
this
then
is her fault, Professor, because as you said, she failed to elevate this division. So that's why everybody else is just persona non grata here.
Mhm.
It was all on her. She failed.
But
And what's
you
the
asked me,
thing?
did the right team win, Vet? And I'll say yes, the right team win because again, before the World Tag Team Title tournament, I said I liked Megalope being the inaugural tag team champion. So if you do it right, they are destined to be the champions. But the problem is Megan Bayne, maybe she wants to be Megan Two Belts. So it doesn't hurt to have the tag team titles, but then she might want to go after Willow's TBS title, so she could be Megan Two Belts too. So again, it just overshadows a lot of people in this supposedly stacked roster. Gets lost in the sauce. A lot of catering though.
I'm sure there is.
And don't forget when they were in the tournament, it was Mega Problems.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, you're right.
You know,
Well, they've got
another
mega
layer to
problems
it,
right now.
which Marina's not done with them. She still affiliates herself, but yet they are not officially members of the Death Riders. So, you know, we've got a lot of chainsaws in the air that we're juggling here, guys.
Yes. There goes my arm.
Yep. Yeah, there goes everything.
Yeah, literally.
And there goes AEW for another week.
Another week and a bit of a topsy-turvy week, should we say. Screw Ciampa's already been thrown in our faces already, or just had enough of him in WWE. Now we've got to put up with him over here becoming world champion soon. Well, you mark my words, by the end of 2026, world champion. But anyway, guys, I think that's
Oh, and I'll say one final thing.
What's
you
that?
know how we've been noticing that Collision has been quietly putting on some nice pro wrestling shows if you're in the mood for like the classic style, which I'm sure
Right.
the Professor is and Jimmy is. Like if you want more traditional, it feels like Collision's the closest thing to what we used to get or what we would hope to get. However, we had like a couple of matches with Mark Briscoe that should have been swapped. Like I
Right.
definitely felt like the Clone and Mark Briscoe match was a Collision match on Dynamite, and I felt like
Should be
the
other way
title
around.
match was a Dynamite match on Collision with Ciampa.
Because if you're going to do that, then you should have just done it on Dynamite anyway, instead of waiting for Collision, right? So, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
fair.
right.
You know, fair enough that you're trying to drive viewers to Collision
Right.
by having Ciampa debut on Dynamite and then telling him he's going to be there on Saturday. So I get trying to do that, but you know,
It is what it is. Well, boys, since we're taking it home, Vet, what are you up to today, tomorrow, or what's going on?
I'm up to stuff. We're gonna be doing stuff. So you can
Stuff.
find that stuff at Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms. You can check me every Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern for the Impact Attack with Brandon, where we talk about TNA. You can catch me every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez, where we talk about NXT. You can catch me you can catch me around. Like I said, at Opinion Haver on your social media platforms. You can watch Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. This last weekend, we had Luther Reigns was on Wrestling with Rip Rogers. So go check that out right now. Check out the Stevie Richards show every week, also on Fridays. And check out Limpin' Ain't Easy. And Timmy's experimenting with new format, so please check him out. And that's just about it for me.
Nice. Prof, what are you up to? What's the latest with the Pro Wrestling Reflection and all the spotlight? Prof?
Well, we just dropped an episode. It just dropped right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, it was on delay.
Oh, okay. Well, we just dropped an episode. Yeah, well, I'm having Wi-Fi issues right now, so bear with me. How many nights? We just dropped an episode. And Jimmy, you have it up there for all the how many nights?
Actually, it's not here for whatever reason. You got to blame Ray on that one. Otherwise, I would have put it up.
It's easy. It's always easy to blame things on Ray. But you can follow me
Yeah.
on the YouTube at the Pro Wrestling Reflection, where we just dropped an episode. It's a spotlight, greatest babyface turns, the liberation of Virgil and Pistol Pez Watley. So, we're celebrating Black History Month very early, guys. So, we wanted to celebrate the liberation of Pistol Pez Watley and Virgil becoming babyfaces in the Professor's humble opinion. I will be off the Wreckage for the next 2 weeks because I got some edifications to do out in the West Coast. I'm out in California edifying the girls. I was told to go on this island on the West Coast. That's all I know. It's in my email, so it's not Epstein's Island. So don't worry about that, guys. So it's all legit stuff. So but it is an island. But I'm on the West Coast edifying the ladies out there. So follow me on the YouTube at the Pro Wrestling Reflection, and follow me on the Twitter at PWSOPRF. That's PWSOPROF.
Nice, very nice. Well, as far as I go, check out I Like It Raw with myself and Big Ray Hernandez every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. And of course, the Smack Attack, which this past week was an all-Australian Smack Attack, as a matter of fact, with myself and the Truth, Pierce Austin. Go check that one out. And also check out our Royal Rumble watch-along that we did yesterday. We did a good 4 hours of talking all things Royal Rumble. But more importantly, look out for Monday afternoon, where we'll be reviewing the Royal Rumble. So far, it's myself and Dr. Michael Jago, where we'll go in depth for the Royal Rumble and what we really thought about it. But other than that, if you want to follow me, you can at the PWC Network.
Hey, don't forget, Jimmy. Don't forget your new show for
oh shit, you're right.
JCW
Yes.
Insanity.
Thank you. I got to get used to that. Also, yes, check out JCW, it's HMG Insanity, where we cover JCW's Lunacy with myself and, of course, Whoople Brandon, where we reviewed this past week's episode. Check that out. That was yesterday. Yesterday night we did it. So if you haven't checked it out already, please do so and tell us what you think. We'll be doing that every week on Saturday nights, every week from now on. Unless there's a PLE, then we're going to switch to Sunday nights for that one. So check that out. Please give us some feedback. I'd love to know. And we got clearance actually from Vince Russo and Jeff Lane to actually put up videos of the show, even if we want. So we won't get striked in doing that. So I appreciate that, Jeff, for telling us that. But anyway, till next time, I am Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams. And he's our co-host, the magnanimous, the glorious, the Professor Chabelo Vera Cruz. Until next time, peace.